Having been a fan since the originals back in 2005 and playing all 6 of the Greek-era God of War games, God of War has continuously focused on expanding the story of Kratos and his relationship with the gods of Olympus. Through this, we see Kratos' evolution as a vengeance-seeking god that is fueled with nothing but hatred. However, nothing stays on top forever. When the franchise slowly started to get stale with the release of God of War Ascension, combined with the backlash from fans, the developers knew that Kratos' story is no longer getting interesting, nor is there anything that needs to be done for the character or story. They knew they had to do something big. Enter God of War 2018. Probably the greatest God of War game of all time. Yes, even including the newest installment, God of War Ragnarok. God of War 2018 managed to completely reinvent Kratos, while keeping everything that we loved about the Greek-era Kratos in the game, and turning him into a much more complex character than the previous ones. Even though they tried to do something similar in God of War Ascension, it simply didn't work, as Greek mythology Kratos was still seen as somewhat of an angry Hulk-like one-dimensional character that lacked any type of serious elements. God of War 2018 humanized him in a way that allowed the players to understand him and sympathize with him, seeing him as more as a man, as a father mourning his dead wife and attempting to raise a child again. This was the perfect start for a new beginning. If you were like me and played all 6 of the Greek-era God of War games, you got a much deeper connection with Kratos as a character, instead of a new player that started with God of War 2018, with the only backstory being a 5-minute recap on YouTube. This changed the emotion and impact of many scenes and the overall story arc of the entire game, such as when he saw Zeus in Helheim, him meeting Athena again, activating Spartan Rage for the first time, and of course, when he was forced to use the Blades of Chaos once again to save his son, after we as the players know the horrific backstory behind these blades. Even though it was a complete new revamp of the entire franchise, the writers didn't stray away from the main focus that all the fans cared about and originally fell in love with, that being Kratos' journey and now his journey with his son. The main focus never changed. It all started with Kratos and his relationship with the gods. Now it's Kratos and his relationship with his son. Fans can easily adapt when you don't change the main focus on the story and characters, like in God of War 2018, because these are the characters we care about. This is the story that we originally fell in love with. Although I have my issues with God of War Ragnarok, which I'll go over in a separate video, the story continues with Kratos and Atreus. However, with Atreus having a more pronounced role than the previous game. I won't lie, there were moments that I felt slightly annoyed with the amount of times we had to play as Atreus, only because I felt like his Asgard arc and Angrboda missions took the focus away from the main story and characters. But as I continued playing, I slowly understood why they did this, especially when we now know Atreus will have his own game in the future. But still, I felt like they could have done a better job at this part of the game, pacing-wise. Nevertheless, the story remained about the 2 characters that were most important to us, and their story revolving around each other. As we progressed throughout the game till the very end, the focus on Kratos and Atreus' relationship was always evolving, until Atreus was now grown up and is ready to go on his own journey exploring the realms. Notice how throughout the whole of the Norse saga, the writers never strayed away from what the fans cared and loved most about the game, the characters and the story. Kratos and Atreus, a father-son relationship, and the journey of a god becoming a father and a boy becoming a man. It was always about them. It was always about their relationship, a journey that had a clear vision from start to finish and felt like one complete story.